Hello everybody and welcome to this new section. In this section we're going to be covering marketing campaigns, how they can be used effectively, how we can analyze past campaigns themselves, and what insights we can gain from these reports in order to better design more effective campaigns in the future. So the topic that we'll be covering in this first video is marketing campaigns, effective design principles. So here we're going to cover a lot of background when it comes to different ways that online marketing can be approached. So one question we will answer is, what sort of approaches are there to online marketing? What is attribution, and why is it so important when it comes to really being able to understand the results of our online marketing efforts? And then the third point is, how can attribution be used to bring online marketing to its full potential? So one thing we certainly know intuitively and probably by experience is that customers do not appear at your site by magic. It's not like this spark that we see here on the right. They don't just magically appear at the tap of a magic wand. They get there through some sort of process. They usually have a way, let's say this is our endpoint, this is our site, but the customers usually got there through some path. And one thing we really want to be able to understand is, how did the customers reach their decision? How were the customers themselves reached by our different advertising efforts, or through referrals or email campaigns, whatever it may be? How were they reached? And on what are ways that they can be reached more effectively? So here's just a brief overview of different ways that marketing can be approached online. This certainly is not an exhaustive list. And if you have a bit more marketing background, you probably have some additional principles or additional strategies that you might use in order to really fully utilize the potential of online marketing. But here's just a brief kind of outline of 4 different approaches. First is agency. So here's where you essentially hire somebody else to do the job. You can either hire somebody or hire a company that specializes in internet marketing. Certainly one thing you would want to think about is their track record or their approach. What sort of results has this person or this company had in the past? How are they able to help other individuals or other businesses reach better numbers or better growth? And so when it comes to that, agency would certainly be one, although there would be a higher associated cost. Another one, maybe a smaller cost, but one with a smaller cost associated with this is search marketing. Here, we're essentially paying a site like Google or Bing for higher visibility in search engine results. And you certainly see similar things happening in Amazon, maybe even searching for an item, and you see kind of at the top of the list where it says that that product's link is sponsored. And what that means is that that company is paying Amazon in order to sort of make sure that item appears higher on the search results. And you can certainly do the same with yours. And another thing you can do is, now with really the prevalence of social media, social marketing is another approach. And it's really being able to use the power of social media platforms like Pinterest or Twitter or Instagram in order to get better visibility when it comes to these results. And you can certainly tap into different influencers, maybe whatever your niche may be. Maybe there is a YouTube personality, maybe there is an Instagram influencer who has really the ability to reach hundreds of thousands or millions of viewers just by kind of wearing your product or using your product or mentioning your product. It certainly is a very, very effective way to be able to reach a very, very large number of people very quickly. Another aspect is mobile. Another way that we certainly have been seeing very powerful growth is through targeting customers on their smartphones or tablets via email or SMS or social media or apps. So there, of course, is some overlap with the social media marketing, but we can certainly use different apps as well. Maybe there certain games or certain apps have sponsored results, and we may be able to tap into those things in order to really reach a larger audience in that way. And these are just four basic, kind of broader ways that online marketing can be approached, but there certainly are many, many more, and many more to come in the future as well. But a lot of these principles will certainly carry over, and you'll certainly be able to utilize those new approaches effectively as well. But what actually works? This, of course, is a very wonderful question, because when it comes to the different options, sometimes you end up with decision paralysis. There's so many choices. What do you do? Maybe you're concerned about cost and return. You want to make sure you're not wasting your money or spending too much, spending a lot to get a little bit back. And so this is where attribution comes into play. What it helps you do is distinguish traffic from each campaign or each avenue, and really be able to see what works and what does not. Google Analytics already kind of does this by default, because it tells you essentially what through what traffic source people are getting to your site. Maybe you have a presence in social media. It'll tell you social media is the way that 25% of the customers are getting to your page. Or maybe organic searches, or maybe direct referrals. These are ways that people are getting to your site. And it's a way to kind of see as a 10,000 square foot view what is certainly a larger proportion of the traffic. But really, there's no direct effort for us involved, and we certainly want a much more detailed picture when it comes to different campaigns. We want to know what works, what does not, what should we devote more resources to. Maybe there are things that we should cut off. What are those things? And so one way that I'm sort of thinking about this is here, imagine this highway of people trying to get to your site, and that's our goal. And there are sort of three ways that they can get there. Maybe one is an email promotion. Let's call it email promotion A. There's also another, email promotion B, and then there's this effort that we've been sort of chipping away at using social networks. Well, they all end up at our site. How do we distinguish these different sources? And especially, how do we distinguish between email promotion A and email promotion B? What we want to be able to do is maybe assign a different colored ticket to each of the traffic, and then essentially count those tickets, right? So let's say we're sort of at this goal, and we're counting yellow ticket, yellow ticket, yellow ticket, and we're seeing that like all these people are coming to our site using email promotion A, but there's no green tickets. There's nobody from social network. That'll help us see that certainly one approach to reaching new customers is a lot more effective than other approaches, and certainly one that we would want to devote more resources to. So how does Google actually do this? Here is where this new topic called UTM Parameters comes in. So this may be a term you've already heard before, and you may know a little bit more about the history behind why it's called Urchin Tracking Modules. Urchin was a company that was acquired by Google, and they essentially took on the name of the product that was originally produced by this company. And it's essentially a tagging convention for URLs. So essentially, when you send a customer a link or an email, what you're going to be doing is kind of sending them a link to your site, but also with a little bit of a tag. And essentially, that'll be your ticket that is going to be tracked by Google, tracked by your website, to know exactly which way these users are coming to your site. So essentially, here's a very, very brief example. Here on the bottom where we have an example site, we have this question mark and then the UTM underscore source. And what this is going to tell you is the source of which people or how people are getting to your site, which campaign that they're getting there from. And here I've just made up a silly name, Hello World. So essentially, like by tracking these, how many people are getting to your site through this specific tagged link, you'll be able to count and really be able to analyze, quantify exactly how many people are being affected by each campaign.